Hello, I'm Craig Arsenault, and today I'm going to be presenting on the reality of augmented reality. This is the future application of AR tech in education, particularly in a secondary school setting or a remote secondary school setting, which will become a much easier situation, as I'll explain in the future. Let's first go through our presentation outline. Let's discuss our topics that we're going to be covering here. We're going to define AR, what augmented reality is. We'll discuss some of the current technology that AR is already implementing. There are many things which AR is already doing, but what I'm most interested in discussing is the future of AR technology. Many technologies are coming out very soon that will be changing the way in which education can be delivered to an extreme. We'll look at some of the applications of AR in education. We'll discuss the problem and solution statements of AR and how to bring it into the school system. We'll discuss the possibility of a return on investment when we're investing in using AR technologies. We'll also discuss the integration of AR, how we will seamlessly flow into the classroom, replacing existing technologies. And we'll discuss my relationship with AR. I have a personal involvement with it, developing some games and some other interesting things. I'm quite passionate about AR technology and where it's going to take us in the future. So first we have this image here, and this is from the game Pokemon Go, which is quite popular with, well, adults as well, but children. And this is the use of AR on a daily basis. We can see that this gentleman here is standing posed in the real world, but on the screen you can see that he's actually standing next to a creature. Now, that's AR technology at work. Augmented reality allows you to experience the world through the addition of computer-generated content. So the real world is there, but you can also see a Pokemon standing next to this gentleman. This contrasts with virtual reality, which, as well as generating the creature, would also generate the world around, the entire environment. Now, AR and VR together are described as extended reality. It describes the two of them together, and they're closely related and overlap in many respects. So I will be using AR and VR nearly interchangeably in this discussion. The first AR experiences began in the early 90s with the development of flight simulators for the military. We've seen those. You have the headset on, you're seated in a cockpit, you have your handles here, and as you move them down, the screen shifts so that it looks like it's responding to your use of the console. This has helped military train people to fly for many years at this point. More recently, though, AR has become widely available for commercial use. It's being incorporated into video games like Pokemon Go. There are many educational opportunities already available and many business ventures coming out as well. So here is an example of our current AR technology. This is where we currently stand with AR. The methods of displaying AR are still improving, but the most common ways to integrate computer-generated images into real-world settings are onto a screen. So just like in Pokemon Go, you're holding your phone, you can see the creatures here, and as you move your screen, there it is. You also have the available headsets that I'm sure we've all seen. This young lady's using one here to visualize something in the universe. Though AR implementation is far from perfect, it does have many applications in its current form. Science curriculum is what I'm most passionate and excited about. I am a secondary school science teacher. So you can do things like visualize the macro, micro, and dangerous, things that you wouldn't be able to do in real life. Macro means a large scale. You could be looking at the formation of the universe. Micro, you could zoom inside of a cell, inside of organs in the body. You could look beneath the earth at bacteria. And of course, the dangerous. You can't go physically inside a tornado right now. Wouldn't be very well advised. But if you put on a headset, you could stand right in the center of a tornado, of a hurricane, of a forest fire. It wouldn't matter, but you'd get to experience and learn firsthand. There's also medical training currently available. It's being implemented quite widely. This allows visualization, analysis, and practice of medical skills. You could practice a surgery virtually while still being hands-on. without ever having to touch a patient. You gain necessary experience and skills. There's also many things to do with self-realization that you can use AR tech for. Public speaking, if you have trouble speaking in public, put on a headset, you're standing in an auditorium full of 500 cheering fans as you give your speech. Really help with that self-realization there. Exercise, even currently at my gym, when you're on the elliptical trucking along, the screen in front of you shows you moving through the forest. The applications for interesting and engaging exercise applications it's unreal. For art appreciation, virtual tours of well, fossil sites, museums, you name it, as well as travel. You could be going through the canals in Venice while still seated in your classroom. Now, the future of AR technology is what very much interests me. This is the main point of my discourse here. As we look ahead, many new things are going to be coming available. So companies are investing heavily right now in AR tech, its development and its use. In a world which is increasingly globally connected and accepting of remote interactions, as well as distance learning, AR is quickly rising to prominence in the public eye. New technologies are coming out, such as sleek AR glasses like the ones seen here, where you can see a heads-up display. As you're walking through the city, you can get directions to navigate to where you're trying to get to. Many, many things. You could have highlighted, if you were looking for restaurants, have any arches of restaurants highlighted. Endless possibilities there. These will only improve over time and become more affordable, just like a flat screen TV was very expensive years ago. Now it's not such a big deal. As these things become more commonplace, the prices will drop. The transformation of Facebook into Meta and their announcement of the upcoming metaverse, this was last year. It's brought some of the upcoming realities into the limelight. Large companies are genuinely working to push the AR agenda and all the opportunities that come with it. Let's check into this video real quick. It'll highlight some of what I'm discussing.
Hi everyone, I'm Marnie Levine. In the metaverse, learning won't feel anything like the way we've learned before. With a headset or glasses, you'll be able to pull up schematics for your studying, or maybe even the service manual for a vehicle you're learning to repair. Let's say you're a med student or a doctor. With apps like OSO VR, you can learn new techniques in surgery firsthand, practicing until you get it right. Or, if you're studying Earth science, you could swim through the Great Barrier Reef, get up close to Earth's mightiest insects with your instructor, David Attenborough, whose VR documentary is playing now in Oculus TV.
This is a world of intrigue, a world of wonder, a secret world hidden to the human eye. Explore the extraordinary world of Micro Monsters 3D with me, David Attenborough.
So that's just a quick clip kind of displaying a bit of what I've been talking about. Let's look at some of the current and upcoming applications of AR in education and industry. While transporting students inside a cell or to the surface of the sun may sound like it comes straight from the magic school bus, there are only some of the amazing applications available through AR. Imagine as an educator having the ability to lecture to students all across the globe, yet seeing them present within your classroom for face-to-face discussions. Just like is shown by Yoda's friend on the Jedi Council here, these things are actually becoming possibilities right now. An emerging field in AR tech is holographic telepresence, where individuals can join live discussions remotely. This is no longer science fiction, it's genuinely happening. Now you can tell this is coming from a projector. Most of the AR tech that I'm going to be discussing is with sleek glasses and that sort of thing, where you can visually see somebody standing. But this idea that you enter into a classroom that's perhaps completely empty or mixed, has a couple of students in it, but mostly empty desks. You pick your headset or glasses up off the desk. Ah, a full classroom. Hello, everybody. Welcome to class. Fascinating, fascinating. Here's how some of it would work.
Let's take a look at what working in the metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be at the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day all accessible from anywhere. Now imagine that you have your perfect work setup and you can actually do more than you could in your regular work setup. And on top of all that, you can keep wearing your favorite sweatpants.
Looking good. Let's get together real quick for a debrief.
I'm free now. Let's jump in.
Hi.
Hey.
So what do we think?
I think it's ready.
Great.
I'll prep it for the presentation.
All right. Good luck.
Imagine a space where you can tune out distractions and focus on the task at hand. And when you're ready to share what you've been working on, you can present it as if you're right there with the team.
Wait, where's Mark?
I think he's in the middle of something.
Fascinating. Absolutely incredible. The applications for business as well as for education. Extravagant. So let's talk about some of the problem and solution statements regarding remote learning in general, because that's kind of what I'm trying to focus this AR tech in. Learning organizations strive to encourage participations and collaboration and to inspire interest, convey deep concepts. Remote learning can hamstring some of these goals through various means, which we'll discuss shortly, but many of us experienced this recently during the pandemic, the transition to Zoom lessons, the lack of engagement. It's been quite a difficult business. The ability to improve this, well, let's discuss. This applies to distance education. It also applies to my field as a secondary school instructor. I do have students currently that are engaged in my class entirely remotely. There are some that I've never met. Now, I share all my presentations to Google Classroom as a learning management system. I share all my presentations. I share all of my worksheets, all of my quizzes, whatever they need. I'm there. I'm available as much as possible, but the engagement is lacking. Through the integration of AR tech, though, these goals, the participation and collaboration and interest, they can be reached in unique ways. The integration of AR into classrooms in the ways discussed here will be dependent on the advancement and availability of upcoming technologies. So this presentation is meant to inspire interest in supporting these advances. We can't currently roll them out. We haven't gotten there technology-wise yet. As far as a return on investment goes, this is a difficult business when we're talking about the public school district. In the public schools, their supplies are purchased through the use of school district funding. The majority, that's 95% of these funds, are supplied by the Ministry of Education and Child Care's operating grant. The funding allocation system strives to ensure equity across all districts in British Columbia. That means they try to divide evenly as much as possible, depending on student needs. School districts seek longevity from the materials they purchase, but it's unrealistic to expect a literal return on their investments other than an inspired and educated public. We currently invest in all sorts of technologies in our schools. Chromebooks are probably the big one in my district right now. Every other classroom has a cart stacked full of Chromebooks for student use during class. This could easily be replaced as technology allows for it. Funding allocated for Chromebooks and other materials will necessarily be repurposed for the next generation as the new generation of technology comes out. When Chromebooks become outdated, it could be potentially AR that replaces them, AR technologies. So how would we integrate it into the classroom anyway? There are many reasons and benefits to attending educational institutions remotely. There absolutely are. The ability to attend despite barriers, the ability to attend whether you're unhealthy, whether you're concerned about health and safety, if we need to isolate for whatever reason, Many people have participated in distance learning that they probably never expected they would in recent years. Reduced commute time, reduced expense. If you can achieve the same goals from home, why spend that extra hour in traffic? Equitable access to course content and courses despite location barriers. So if you are 200 kilometers away and don't have a vehicle available to you, should you be excluded from being able to attend a course? Or do we have the obligation to make that course available to anybody that we can with very limited accommodating? Now, there are many drawbacks to remotely attending schools. The direct collaboration becomes a difficulty. It's hard to work side by side with somebody when you're isolated from them. Synchronous feedback becomes an issue. You submit, you get reports returned, but you don't have a teacher to walk by and say, hey, that's looking very good, or whatever feedback needs to be given. Lack of accountability. We've all sat in Zoom meetings where the screens are all turned off. You're speaking to a sea of darkness. You have no idea who's engaging. With AR technology, you're physically, well, not physically, but visually present. The accountability increases exponentially. Augmented reality has the potential to revolutionize the education industry in general and address many of the drawbacks of remote learning specifically. Integration of AR into the secondary education setting will allow the formation of mixed classrooms where students can attend in person or enter the classroom through means of telepresence. This will allow remote learners to participate in experiential learning either synchronously or asynchronously rather than going through slides alone. So rather than going through my presentation after the fact without hearing me speak and present my actual lessons other than in writing, you get to experience it all firsthand. Perhaps you could access these lessons after the fact as well, still with your headset or glasses on, still able to look side to side, still able to observe, but now you're in a recording rather than there synchronously. The ability to tune in to the virtual classroom may supersede or enhance other forms of LMS, learning management systems. Lectures could be accessed and attended at later times, either for review or due to time restraints. The interactive virtual classroom setting also eliminates many issues with other audio-video platforms, right? Students can now interrupt. They can ask clarifying questions. They can put their hand up and say, hey, I'm really not getting this. Could you go a little more deeper? They can interact with the instructor in all the ways that they could in a classical classroom. So let's talk about the process of integration. The methods of introducing AR-hosted mixed classes will vary as technology advances. It must begin simply at first, working with what's currently available. At the moment, most AR is being utilized through the phone or your computer screens. The process begins equitably because fairly well anybody involved in a distance learning program at the moment uses a phone or their computer screen. Now, as these technologies advance, well, the goal will be to reach a stage where AR glasses can allow students to experience total immersion. School district funding currently provides materials such as Chromebooks for student use, despite historically using chalk and slate. We moved ahead with the times. We got Chromebooks. We could very much do the same. No great stretch to think that we could do the same with AR technologies. Let's quickly discuss my relationship with AR. I've created, well, starred in, I suppose, acted in, there you go, some AR video games. I've worn the motion capture suit and this helmet here to generate characters that move and speak and behave as I'm pretending to. My personal experience can attest to the impressive and engrossing nature of its use. The ability to put on a headset and walk around a market square it's insane. The capacity to transport participants to new locations, it captures the imagination. The sensory input can lead to greater retention of information. You're not just sitting in a classroom anymore. You're walking through Pompeii. Quickly, just a little clip of what I've been working on. And imagine, of course, that you have a headset and you can actually turn and see the environment around you.
Oh, I was hoping to speak with you. Can you see all right? Good. They say you can judge a man by the company he keeps. It makes me wonder, what do people think of me allowing such weakness into my company? I think you're going to really enjoy this next bit.
It's a trap!
Well, thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure to discuss. I hope this intrigued some interest in AR and VR technology and its application in education in the very near future.